Sorry about that. A student came in for some help. Okay, so what were we doing? I don't know. We put this 140 on the picture. We put this 160 on the picture. We put 110 on the picture. Then we were talking about how this left side is way longer than this right side. So A's out because the left side doesn't look long. Okay, C's out because look, the wrong piece is long. B is out. So D must be it. Okay, so let's go over that again. We drew the 140. We just put an up and down line. Then we put that Q3, which was what? Oh, that was 24 tick marks away. I put 14 tick marks away. Let me fix this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, that's why it doesn't make sense. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. Let's fix this. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that whole thing I said about the left side being longer than the right side, that was a bunch of malarkey because I couldn't even count my tick marks right. What a moron. I'm such a bum. Okay, so anyway, now that I fixed the amount of tick marks, 164 is over here. Hello. Okay. I labeled 154. Okay, so now that I fixed my tick marks, you can see that A is for I don't know, we don't know, but B is for sure out because it doesn't look like this picture. C is for sure out because it doesn't look like this picture. And then let's decide whether A and D is the answer, because A and D, the boxes both look kind of the same distance on the left and right, and once I fix mine, it looks the same distance on the left and right. Okay, the way you figure out the final answer is we graph our lowest and our highest. Okay, our highest is at 190. Y'all help me count. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 170. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 180. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 190. Okay, so that's this dot on the very right side of the whisker. Now let's find the left side. I have a feeling I'm going to run out of room. So, let's keep going. Okay. Now I'm going to draw my very lowest number, 28. Okay, help me out. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 100. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 90. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 80. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 70. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 60. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 50. Okay, hopefully you can see. Okay. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so you can see I'm not even at 40, and I'm already a longer distance over here on the left from my last box than I was on the right at that 190. So let's keep going. We need to go to 28. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30. And then 28 is right here. So we put a dot there and we connect it to our box. Okay, so now you can tell that the box, both sides look like they're about the same width or length. Then it looks like this dot on the right side is a shorter distance away than this dot on the left side. Woo! Okay, So, out of A is definitely not right, because if you can see, the distance on the right is supposed to be much shorter. Well, A doesn't have it. So the only option that even kind of makes sense is this piece that has two almost equal sides inside. And then you can't really tell, but this right side is shorter than the left side. So the left is supposed to be the longer, and the right is supposed to be the shorter distance. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at number 26. Okay, concave and convex. Concave means, I like to think of like a person standing up, yeah, and here's their little belly. Okay, here's a person, here's a neck, here's the face, and some hair. Okay, this is the person. They got arms, whatever. Concave means you can punch this person's stomach, and their stomach goes from poking out to poking in. Whoa. That's how I remember concave. So, concave means it looks like it's punched in. So if we have a square, let's say I punch it right here, and that portion gets punched in. That's called concave. Or let's say I have a stop sign. Yeah. And I take this portion and I punch it with my fist. That means that we might still have the bottom piece the same, but this top piece could be punched in or something. We punch it in. Okay, so concave means it's like somebody punched you and you lose your breath and your stomach gets caved in. Okay, so this guy, we get concave right here. It's like somebody punched the picture. Same thing over here. It's like they punched the picture and it went concave. Yeah. Okay. If you need help with that, maybe Google concave and convex and look at the images. Change the search to images at the top of the toolbar and look for concave pictures. Okay, we're going to skip 27 and 28. Let's see. What does this one say? Number 29. It says, find the requested angle, and it says supplement of 23. Okay, well, something you might want to write on your cheat sheet is that supplement means add to 180, or it means minus from 180. Okay, so we're given an angle, 23. It's kind of like this is the angle, 23. And supplement means it adds up to 180. This whole line is 180 degrees. From one side all the way over to the other, it's 180 degrees. We want to figure out its supplement, so the leftover. So if you have 23, how many more degrees do I need to add to get 180? Or you can, instead of thinking about adding to 180, you can think, what's 180 minus our angle? So 180 minus 23, and that should give me that 157, or C. Yeah, so supplementary means add up to 180. The complementary, I took off the test because that was, yeah, I took off the test. Okay, let's look at number 30. Number 30 says the ratio measure of two angles that are supplementary, that means add to 180, is 5 to 4. What are the measures of the two angles? Okay, well, there's a couple of different ways we could do this. We could do a proportion, or we could just try and say, okay, 5 of something plus 4 of something equals the 180 degrees. Because when we're talking about a ratio is another way of saying fraction. So this 5 to 4 means 5 over 4. But if you add those, they don't give you 180, they give you 9. Angles are supposed to add to supplementary angles are supposed to add to 180. So that means that this must have been the aftermath of some kind of reducing. So we're trying to find out what the angles were before I reduced. Or if I have to reduce by some number and get 5 over 4, I'm trying to go backwards and say 5 times something I reduced by plus 4 times something I reduced by is supposed to be equal to 180. So let's see what that is. That gives you 9x equals 180. Then divide by 9. And x equals 20. Okay, that's not my answer because my original angle is 5 times something, 20. So we have to now do 5 times 20, and that makes 100. And then this 4 times 20. And that makes, what is that, 80? Okay, so if those were my original angles, they should reduce to this 5 over 4 ratio that we have. Let's see. 100 divided by 20 is 5. 80 divided by 20 is 4. So all we did is we pretended that this 504 came from something else that was reduced, and we found what we needed to reduce by, the 20. And we said 5 times something plus 4 times something is 180. And that something was 20. So then we took that 5 and 4 and multiplied it by 20. So my first step was this 5x plus blah, 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 blah. My second step was this 5 times 20, 4 times 20. And then that was it. This last thing about 180 was just me rambling on. So my answer should just be D. Like this 4 times 20 is 80, 5 times 20 is 100. Look at D, 180. All right, let's look at number 32. It says, give the name of the solid. Okay, first, if your picture comes out up to a point, then you describe whatever its base is, and then you say the word pyramid. Whereas the one that I deleted, number 33, this is the one we always get wrong, so I deleted it. It doesn't come up to a point. It has a base and a base that are connected. See how on this picture we have like a, whatever this is, those bases, and they're connected? Yeah, this would be called the base plus the word prism. So prism is when two bases are connected to each other. Pyramid is when you just have one base, who knows what it is, and it comes up to a point. Okay, so let's look at our base. What is it called? What is that? That's called a trapezoid. When you have two parallel sides and the other two sides are slanted like this, they're called a trapezoid. So this is a trapezoidal pyramid. And the next one, with the hoopla about the prism, I deleted it because we usually get it wrong. I also deleted number 34, the one that says prism, because we usually get it wrong. But you can tell on that one, there's two bases of triangles, and then they're connected. So that's why that one's called a prism. Okay, let's keep looking. 35 says list the edges. Okay, edges, oh gosh. Edges are like the lines. That kind of thing. Yeah, so let's count our lines. We got the edges from this square. That's 4. Then we got the edges from whatever this is coming up to the pyramid. So that's another 4. So we should have 8. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B's gone. C's gone. D's gone. Okay. And then the way we label these edges are this top left sucker could be labeled BA or AB. Yeah, that one right there. This bottom sucker, you could label it CD or DC. Anyway, you get the point. Okay, so the answer is A. Alright, number 36, I deleted it. Number 37 says complement. Okay, complement means they add to 90 or minus from 90. Whatever you need to do. So let's see here. That means that in a 90-degree angle, the first plus the second angle will add up to 90. Okay, let's see how they labeled these. It says the complement of an angle measuring x. So this first angle is x. The complement is 5x. Okay, solve for x. Well, we know that these add to a 90. So I'm going to say x plus 5x equals 90. This is a lot like number 29. Number 30. When we said 5x plus 4x equals 180. It's a lot like that, only they gave us the information differently. Okay, so I have my good friend Juan. X plus 5x is 6x, and that's equal to 90. And then divide by 6, and you get 1, 5, 15. So the question is, solve for x. Well, we did. X equals 15. So D. Okay, this one's different from that 39. Or that 30, because it didn't say solve for x. It said what are the actual measures of the two angles. So that's why we had to use the degrees. Okay, let's keep going. This number 38, it says, oh gosh. Oh no. It says measure of angle 6 is 115. Okay, that's great. And then what was this other stuff? It says if oh gosh, I can't find it. Oh, it says if they're parallel and the measure of angle 6 is 115, what are the measures of the other angles? Okay, well, all the obtuse angles are the same, 115. So this 6 and 8 are 115. And that's called like corresponding angles. Yeah, okay. Then let's look for the other obtuses. Here's a 2. That's 115. That's called alternate interior angles. I think I call it the F property, where this inside angle of the F and this inside angle of the F are equal to each other. So if you look at this picture, it kind of, if you squint, looks like an F, which means those two angles are the same. Okay, so we have those labeled. There should be another obtuse. Oh, this 4, that's 115. Yeah. Okay, those are called that vertical angles. And then now let's figure, maybe we can cancel out some answer choices. So we got 2, 6, 4, 8. 2, 2, 2. Okay. D is wrong because it says 2 is equal to 4, but it's also 1 and 3. Well, that's not it. Okay. C could be right. Okay, we'll check that out. Let's look at B. B could be right. Okay. A could. Okay, and they all could be right. All right. Now let's figure out what these other angles are. Well, those last couple of examples that we've done have shown that an angle on the right and the angle on the left should add up to 180 degrees because a line is worth 180 degrees. So from one side all the way to the other, both of those angles should add up to 180 degrees. Or what we also wrote was, instead of adding up to 180 degrees, they could minus from 180 degrees. So let's take 180 and subtract those obtuse angles, 115, and that should be what my other angles are. 70, 65. So we get 65. Okay, so that means this obtuse angle is 115, and this little acute angle is 65. And that means that all my obtuse angles on this picture are 115, and all my acute angles are 65. 65, 65, 65. Let me see if there's another one. Oh, 65. Alright, so answer B is out because it says 75. C is gone because it says 25, so it must be that A. Yeah, okay. 39, we deleted it because I made your test too big. Darn. Alright, now let's look at 40. It says the two triangles shown below are congruent. And then it says IJK is congruent to blah. So we have to figure out what order those letters go in. Okay, so let's see here. These triangles are not facing the same direction. Let's turn this guy, or one of them, upside down. I think I'm going to turn this guy upside down. It'll be easier for me. So the L goes up. L. The M goes down. M. The N goes up. Okay. N. Alright, so I just flopped over my triangle so that it looks the same as this left triangle. That way, my letters will for sure be in the correct spot. Okay. So, if I compare this picture to the one on the left, let's not look at this guy anymore. If I compare this picture to the one on the left, it still doesn't look exactly the same because we need to switch this picture around because the longest side is on the left and over here on the picture that I drew, it's on the right. So let me switch this around. N is going to go here, L is going to go here. M is going to go from here to here. Okay, now, no more. Now these two triangles look like they're facing the correct direction. All the short side is on the right, the longer side is on the left. It all looks correct. Okay, now let's label the triangle. For this triangle on the left, we started with I, and then we went down to J, and then to K. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start at the top left, N, go down to M, and N to L. So N, M, L. Hey, C. And you don't have to draw all those pictures. You could have seen that right off the bat. You don't have to do all this extra work. Okay, let's look at 41. 41 says, tell whether the triangles are similar or not similar. Okay. Similar means they have the same angles, but different sides. If you want to write that on your cheat sheet. Okay, so let's see if we have the same angles and different sides. Well, they don't even tell us the sides, so Okay, now let's look at the angles. I have a 20 and a 20, okay? And then let's remember that all angles add to 180 in a triangle. You might want to also write that down on your cheat sheet. Okay, so let's find this angle in the top triangle. We're going to say 180 minus that 65 minus that 20 and that gives us 95 degrees. Okay, well, look at this bottom triangle. It's only going to be similar if you have the same angles. Well, we thought we had the same angles with this 20, but just look at this, 95 and 65. Neither of those are the same as 85. So we do not have the same angles, so it's not similar. Okay, let's go to 42. 42 we omitted, deleted, because your test was too big. Yay! Number 43, it says find the circumference. Circumference for your cheat sheet is C equals 2 pi r. Okay? It says leave your answers in terms of pi. And then it says a circle with a radius of 2.5. Well, that's the r. So let's plug it in. 2 pi. And then what's that r doing to the 2 and the pi? It's all squished up on it, so it's multiplying. So 2 pi multiply 2.75. Okay, then it says leave your answer in terms of pi, which means we're going to keep the pi in our answer because there's pi's all over here in your answers in your multiple choice. And then you're going to multiply that 2 and 2.5. And if you multiply those, you get 5 pi. Hey, there's your circumference. Let's keep going. Area. Area of a square. I would put this on your cheat sheet. The area of a square is side squared. So you just have to take your side and square it. Let's look at 44. It says find the area of a square, 11 sides. So we're going to do 11 squared. And 11 times 11 is 121. Yeah. Okay. Next sucker, 45. I would put this on your cheat sheet. The area of a rectangle is length times width. Alright, let's look at number 45. Number 45 says, find the area of a rectangle and find the measuring 10 and 22. Okay, so I don't know which one is the length and which one is the width, but it doesn't matter. If I multiply 10 times 22, I get 220. If I put them in the, rearrange them and put 22 times 10, it's still 220. So, D. Alright. Let's look at 46. 46, I would write this on your cheat sheet. Area of a triangle. It's A equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, so we're going to have 1/2, and if you want to, you can use 0.5 instead. It'll probably make you guys feel better. So 0.5 as the 1/2, and then that B and H are all squished up on each other, and squishing means multiplying. So 0.5 times 39 and 34, and then let's go ahead and multiply those. Hey, 663. B. Nice. Okay, let's keep going. I think there's a couple more. Where are they at? Oh, here they are. 47. Find the surface area of a cube with edge length of 6 feet. Okay, so you might want to write this down. The surface area of a cube Yeah. Okay. Well, first off, the area of a square is s squared. Okay. Cubes have 6 sides. So the surface area of the cube is 6s squared. So we're going to have 6 times 6 squared. So that's 6 times, 6 squared is 6 times 6, or 36. Nice. Okay, 6 times 36. I got 216. Hey, B. Alright, let's look at number 48. 48 says, find the coordinates of the image for the given point under the translation defined by... Okay, so this point that they gave us, 0, 6, that's x and y. So what we're going to do to the x is we're going to plus 4. What we're going to do to the y is we're going to minus 2. Okay, so we're going to take that 0 in the x and plus 4, and you get 4. Then we're going to take that 6 in the y, and we're going to subtract 2, and you get 4. So my final answer is what I got from the x's and the y's. 4, 4. Woohoo! Or D. Alright, let's look at 49. 49 says, find the image of the given figure under the translation that takes P to P prime. Okay, so image means the aftermath. Okay, and then this P to P prime is how we get to the aftermath. You start with the P and you end with the P prime. So let's see what happens there. If I start with the P and go to the P prime, that's that guy down here, P prime is the bottom, I have to go down 1 and then right, how many is this? 1, 2, right 2. Okay, so this is how we're going to get this triangle to its image, the aftermath. We're going to take each point and take it down 1 to the right 2. Take each dot and move it down 1 to the right 2. So we're taking every vertice and we're moving it down 1 to the right 2. So our new picture should be this guy. Okay, D is too high. It looks like there's only supposed to be 1 line of dots underneath. So D's out. A's out because it doesn't have the 1 line of dots underneath. Okay. Over here on the right, we have 1, 2 dots before my picture. So B just has 1 dot. That's out. So we need the one that has 2 dots before, or C. Woohoo! Okay, and then 50